Alright, welcome back, you beautiful souls. This is going to be part 2 to What If Deku Was a Quirkless Female? So, in the last part, we left off with Izuka and Inko saying goodbye to Inko's parents and basically coming back. And on the train ride, Izuka, expresses to her mom that she kind of wants to, explore when they get home and everything, and sorry about that. She wants to explore and maybe meet up with Kachan and kind of surprise him and to see if he still remembers her. And Inko's like, well, I'm pretty sure he still remembers you because he has asked about you. And Izuka's like, really? I thought he would have turned out different. I thought he would have became a jerk because everyone always said his quirk was always great and everything. And Inko's like, sweetie, what? And Inko's like, sweetie, that's very mature of you. Most, see, how old is Izuka in this? 9, 12. So she's 13 and a half. And Izuka's like, oh yeah, Grandpa's taught me a lot, and I don't know, I've learned quite a bit of things, and then having to process what what our other families like, and Inko's like, I'm sorry, sweetie, I never told you about that, and Izuka's like, it's okay, Mom, I can't believe there's people out there like that I'm related to, and it just I wish I could stop them, but Grandpa told me about his past a little bit, and Inko's like, that old man, I told him not to, and he's like, no, Mom, it's fine, I understand the situation that he's in, and what we're kind of in, and what Grandpa went through to make sure that we weren't in that lifestyle, and I kind of thanked him for that. And so they get home, they arrive home about mid-afternoon, and this is on a week, this is on a weekend, so Izuka unpacks and everything, and then says, well, Mom, I'm gonna head out and go explore, because it has been almost 10 years since I've been around here. I want to see what has changed. And Inko's like, you sure, sweetie? You don't want me to come with you? And Izuka's like, no, Mom, I'm fine. And then Inko basically is like, well, I did want to give this to you at dinner as a welcome home surprise. And Izuka's like, well, what is it, Mom? And Inko pulls out a gift and hands it to her. It's like, well, it's already activated, and just open it. And Izuka opens it, and it's a cell phone. And she's like, well, should we call Mitsuki and everything, and let him know that you're back in town? And Izuka's like, no, I really want to surprise Kachan. And Inko's like, well, in that case, he's probably, well, it's the weekend, so he's probably at the karate dojo that he's been going to for the past couple of years. And Izuka's like, wait, Mom, how do you know that? And then Izuka kind of face palms at that question. Is like, oh yeah, that's right. And Inko's like, yes, sweetie, I'm still friends with Mitsuki. And so Inko is like, well, here's I've already put my number in there, and if you need help with anything getting back home or anything, give me a call, and make sure if something happens, do call me, because I still still worry about you. And Izuki's like, Mom, I'll be fine, and if anything, I'll run. I won't get into a major fight. And then Yuzuka's like, wait, you said Kachan's been taking karate classes? What's that about? And Inka's like, well, I'm not really sure, but Mitsuki said a couple of years ago, like, he asked her to, like, if he can get into some classes. And I think it may be, like, he heard that because you left and you were training in martial arts, like, he didn't want to, like, be outdone by you. And Izuka's like, huh, that sounds like Kachan, like, always wanting to be the best. Maybe he's, like, become an a-hole or something, but in any case, I want to see if he still remembers me. Oh, wait, if he's at a dojo. Izuka runs back upstairs and comes down with, like, a backpack, and she has a hoodie on and everything. And Inga's like, what's up with all that, sweetie? And she's like, well, if he's at a karate dojo, I went and got, like, I'm gonna take workout clothes and, like, a gi with me. And Inga's like, kind of laughs at this. Okay, sweetie, well, have fun. And so Izuka, like, gets, like, the directions to, like, the dojo that she's at, that Kachan has been studying at and everything. And I'm going to do a quick little pause here. Like, Katsuki he's not the exact same Katsuki Bakugo that we have in canon. He's not a complete a-hole, because he heard that like, his mom and Inko told him that Izuka is going to be staying with her grandparents because of all the bullying and everything. And this really made Katsuki, like, chill out a little bit, but he's still rough. Like, he doesn't really... He's kind of a jerk at times. Like, he still has, like, his rough edges, like I said in the last part. So Izuka's like making her way towards there, and she's having, like, flashbacks of when her and Katsuki used to play in the neighborhood. Like, she walks by the playground and she kind of sits there for a little bit, and she's like, wow, this is where it all started. This is when my eyes changed, and wow, things have really changed. I wonder how Katsuki has changed. I've changed quite a bit. Like, thinking in her head, like, I wonder, like, how Kachan's changed. Wonder if he still wants to be friends with, like, someone that's quirkless. In any case, let's get going. And so she eventually makes her way to the dojo, and she has her hoodie on and everything, and she enters, and she kind of bumps into an instructor, and she's, like, apologizing. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And the instructor looks down, and he's like, wait, you wouldn't happen to be... And Izuka looks up, and he's like, oh, wow, I haven't seen you in a few years. And he's like, so, what brings you here, young Midoriya? And Izuka's like, well, I heard my friend's been taking classes here, and I kind of wanted to see if he's here today. And the instructor's like, so what's your friend's name? And she says, Katsuki Bakugo. And the guy kind of looks down, and he's like, oh, God, 2 people. You had to know him. And Izuka's like, what's wrong? And at this, she kind of hears, like, a little, like, an explosion. She's like, he's kind of thinks he's tough crap because he's able to take on, like, some of the adults. And this is when the instructor kind of smiles, and Izuka's like, what is it, sir? And the instructor's like, well, could you kind of teach him a lesson? And Izuka's like, really? You would let me spar here even though I'm not part of the classes? And the instructor's like, well, I know how strong you are, and I think someone kind of needs to put him in his place, because unless we go all out, we can't really like do anything against him. And I'm fairly certain you can give him a good spar. And the instructor's like, so do you need any equipment or anything? And she's like, no, like that's why I brought this. And she's like, is it okay if I wear this mask? And she pulls it out, and the instructor's like, oh, so you wanted to surprise, so you're probably thinking about surprising him yourself. And Izuku kind of looks down and is like, yeah, like it has been almost 10 years since we've seen each other, and I don't know if you'll remember me, but I kind of want to like have a sparring match with him, you know? Especially since he's been like taking karate classes for a couple of years now. And the instructor's like, okay, well, like I did ask you to like go up against him, and so he says, well, you can go. We don't really have like a female male separation, if that's okay. And Izuka's like, yeah, that's fine. Like, do you have anywhere that I can change? Because I am still kind of self-conscious. And the instructor looks down and is like, you're worried about that scar that you have, don't you? And Izuka's like, yeah. And so the instructor's like, well, you can change in the restroom, that like the instructor's restroom. So she goes in there and she gets changed over and she puts on her mask. And while she's in the instructor's locker room changing, the instructor calls everyone around and basically goes over, it's like, you guys are in a very special treat. We have a very special guest here. It's the granddaughter of an old friend of mine. And this instructor actually is a friend of Izuku's grandfather. Like, he met him after his days, and they basically, this instructor sees like her grandfather as like a milestone to like get over. Every couple of years he goes and challenges her grandfather. So he has like that, it's like a one-sided rivalry. So the instructor is explaining that one of his old friends that he's constantly trying to beat, like his granddaughter, is here today, and she wants to spar with our best student because she's going to start. She just recently moved here, and basically, he goes over that she is very strong, and I've seen her fight before. And he turns to Bakugo. He's like, and if you don't bring your A game, Bakugo, she's gonna ring your clock. And Bakugo is like cracking his finger. He's like, oh, there's no one that's gonna be able to beat me. And then he goes, so is this going to be a quirk sparring, or is this going to be martial arts? And at this, Izuka like has walked out, and she's wearing the mask, and it has like a voice changing in it. And she says, well, if you want to you should use your quirk, because if not, it probably won't be fair for you. And everyone turns their head, and they see this young girl, and they're like, what is she going to be able to do? And the instructor is like, now guys, like, she may not look like it, but she could probably take everyone here. She could probably take some of the teachers here. And everyone's like, whoa, she must be strong. So Katsuki and Izuka get into the ring. They do like the bowing and everything, and Izuka basically tells Katsuki, is like, so how long have you been studying here? And Katsuki tells her, it's like, well, I've been training here for almost 3 years. And she looks down and she's like, oh, and you're a black belt, so I don't have to So I probably don't have to hold punches. And Katsu's like, oh, so you thought about holding punches. Well then, I guess let's get to this. And the instructor's like does like the whole hand gesture, basically starting it. So Katsuki comes in like using his explosions to increase like his velocity, and Hizuka like kind of like does like a backflip and knocking his hand away and everything, and they go at it for a little bit, and everyone's just amazed. They're like, why isn't she using her quirk and everything? And then the instructor kind of pipes up and is like, well, this might be a shock to you guys, but she's actually quirkless. And this kind of gets Katsuki's attention. Wait, quirkless? Martial arts? And they're going at it, and then Izuku kind of like loses her footing a little bit, and Katsuki catches like an explosion right in her face, and like the mask breaks, and Izuku like goes down, and Katsuki's like, can you continue? And then Izuku like stands up, and Katsuki's like, huh, so you're back in town, why didn't you call? And Izuku's like, so you figured it out? And Katsuki's like, yeah, and honestly, I've been going easy on it because, well, like, I didn't want to be known as the guy that beats up a quirkless girl. And this kind of infuriates Izuka a little bit. And she's like, oh, so you weren't going all out because I'm quirkless. Well, Kachan, guess what? I've learned a few things. And honestly, I haven't really been trying. And Katsuki's like, oh, is that true? Then show me what you've been working on. I heard that you've been training these past 10 years. Let's see what a quirkless person can do. Basically agitating him, and this makes Izuka like even more like angry, and she's like, okay, well then what about this? She blinked and her eyes like turn a different color like for a brief second, and then she blinks again and turns and like goes back to normal, and Katsuki's like, whoa, that was awesome. And so they go at it, and Izuku like gets hit in the shoulder, and she kind of like sidekicks and she basically like takes a knee to the ground, and Katsuki's just laying there, and Izuku like lets out a great like a breath, and she's like, whew. And like the top part of her gi is on fire, and then she looks down and she pats it out, and she basically like, well, I guess this is ruined, I'm gonna have to get another one. Kachan like could have like not used your explosion right there, and if I didn't realize you were going for that, I probably would have lost my arm. And Kachan's like, whoa, you really have been training. Like you must have gone through hell. And this was when Katsuki sees like a scar across like going from like her like below her shoulder down like the side of her, and he's like, Izuku, like, what's up with that? And she basically looks down, and she's like, I've got to go, and basically like runs like to the locker room, and like Katsuki's standing there like waiting for her to come out, and everyone's like, whoa, like kind of was picked like while she's in the locker room, everyone's like, so Bakugo, you got beat by a girl. And Katsuki's like, we didn't finish the match. She lost. She forfeited. Basically that. And so when Izuka comes out, like she's looking down, and Katsuki's like, so what happened? You didn't have that when you left. And Izuka's like, well, I kind of fell down a cliff, and they couldn't get rid of the scar, and it's embarrassing. Shut up. And like basically punches him in the shoulder, and Katsuki notices, and she's like, "Whoa, you're kind of strong." And so they spend like a couple of hours hanging out, kind of catching up and then Izuka kind of looks up at Bakugo, and he's like, "Kachan, like, I'm surprised you're kind of friendly." And Katsuki's like, "What is that supposed to mean, nerd?" And Izuku's like, "Well, I thought you would have turned out to be like a jerk." And Katsuki's like, "Well, ever since you left, things happened. Like, people started picking on me for, like, someone's, like, started talking trash about you, and I kind of blew up and got in trouble, and Mom's really been ragging me, and then when I found out, like, why you left, it really upset me, and I'm sorry, Izuka. I didn't mean to, like, upset you. I didn't want you to think that you're not my friend anymore. I've actually been kind of worried, like, that you didn't like me anymore." And Izuku kind of like puts her hand on his shoulder and is like, "Kanchan, we've known each other pretty much our whole lives, and our moms are friends, so it would be kind of wrong of us to like become enemies and like hurt our moms like that, you know?" And Katsuki's like, "Yeah, but still, like, you're one of my old..." And Izuku's like, "What? You're one of my oldest friends too, Kachan. But you still kind of a jerk, you know? You didn't need to, like, destroy my gi." And Katsuki's like, I'm sorry about that, Izuka. It's just I had some repressed emotions that I had to work through." And Kachan's like, "So why are you back in town?" And Izuka's like, "Well, I finished the training. Grandpa says there wasn't much more that he can teach me." And Izuka's like, "Well, I kind of don't want to come back here, you know?" And Katsuki's like, "So you're gonna start school again?" And Izuka's like, "Well, I kind of don't need to go to school. I was planning on going to UA like this year, but I kind of want to take a year off from school, you know, like kind of be a kid again. Because, like, honestly..." And Izuka kind of shivers, and it's like, past 9 years, past 8.5 years have been kind of, or not 8.5, it would be 12. Past 8.5 years have been kind of brutal. And Kachan's like, "Well, if you don't want to talk about that, like, it's great seeing you again, Izuka. So I guess where do we start again?" And Izuka's like, "Well, you are like the only person that I really know, so we're friends, I guess, or family. I don't know. I've been thinking the past several years as well, as like, if you remember me." And Katsuki like kind of nudges her arm and is like, "Izuka, I could never forget you. Like, that day at the park really scared me, and like, what's up about those eyes? Like, they were different color from back then." And Izuka's like, and Katsuki's like, "So is that like a quirk?" And Izuka's like, "Kinda, but it's not a quirk. It's more like a family trait." And Izuka kind of like, it's like, "Oh crap, I wasn't supposed to And Katsu's like, what's wrong? And he's like, well, keep that a secret. Like, the less people that know about that, the better it would be. And this kind of agitates Kachan a little bit. And so Izuku is going to be spending the next year, like the next year and a half, like training and really working out, to like, because she's thinking she could go to school, but that would be less time to train, and she doesn't really need to because she can always just take like a equivalency test because she was homeschooled, and she had pretty much finished middle school's like curriculum. She basically just had to take a test because homeschool then going in to like normal school. So that's going to happen, and over this time, Izuka does meet up with Katsuki, and they're sparring over the next 6 months, and Izuka does visit the karate dojo, and Inko's like, so, like she arrives, like, back, that evening of the first day being back, and Izuka's, like, smiling and everything, and Inko's like, so, sweetie, like, did everything go well? And Izuka's like, yeah, like, met up with Kachan, and he's kind of a jerk, but he still remembers me, and I think we're still friends. I don't know. It's kind of weird, because like we don't really know the us now, and then he goes like, so sweetie, have you decided on going back to school for the next year? And Izuka's like, well, I've thought about that. I think I'm just going to take a test and physically train. And he goes like, why is that, sweetie? And it's like, well, I want to try out for UA, and if I want to do that, I need to I need to really kick up my training because I am quirkless, so it's going to be rough. And he goes like, well, sweetie, I think you should like get a normal education. You have been being homeschooled the past few years, and eventually, because like the next day, like Inko talks with her again and convinces her to actually start school. And so this is coming up on 28 minutes, and I've gone through my notes for part 2, with one exception. In this, Izuka is not going to get one for all. She's going to, well, if there's overwhelming to like if you guys comment down in the section, and if I get multiple people saying that they want her to get one for all, I will give her one for all. But what I have planned for Izuka, she's not going to need it. And some of you who picked up on the last part about like how Izuka trains, and if you've seen like a comment that I made, you will probably understand why. I just think like one for all will be overkill for Izuka. So comment down below who you would like to see one for all go to in class 1A. That being said, thank you guys for all the support, and this is a double upload. I kind of wanted to get another part out because of how well part 0 went. So like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I will see you beautiful souls in the next episode.